began probably close to the day that the foundation became operational. 1972, they had Carnegie had been sponsoring a clinical scholars program, whatever it was called. It was the clinical scholars program. Had it at Duke, it had it at McGill, a number of other places, Hopkins. And it was going to be taken over, as it were, by RWJF. And the issue, I suppose, was which of those institutions might continue, which would not continue, which new ones could be added. And Dave Rogers invited me, Bob Brooks, Howard Hyatt, and himself to do a site visit in North Carolina, look at Duke, which had a program, and at Carolina, which didn't have a program. And that's when it began. The scholars have always been, very, very able, very good. There is a willingness, I think, to tackle research issues that are non-traditional. I remember some years ago when one of the sites decided to organize around a question of obesity. And I know that I know that other NAC members were sort of, what are you doing with obesity? I mean, what's the big deal? Which indicates they were smarter than we, or ahead of us, or precocious, or what. But I think that it also represented a willingness to, I hate the expression, think out of the box, so I won't use it, but put in whatever synonym you want for that. There is a willingness to move beyond the traditional questions. And I think that that's good and that's healthy. I really think that what we try to do here and have succeeded in doing is not limited to the health field and health policy. It applies all over the place. And I am not certain that universities in an age of specialization value that as much as they should. Hopkins, which I attended, used to have in the faculty club a long table. Harvard has it. Most places, I suppose, have it. And the theory was that if you came by yourself or with one colleague, you'd sit down at that long table and, you might be sitting next to an anthropologist, next to a physicist, next to a historian. You didn't just eat as a group of economists or sociologists or whatever. That's died out because now people brown bag it and eat in their office because they don't have the time for that. But I think at the student level, we ought to be trying to capture those kinds of opportunities. And if we can't capture them with the economist sitting next to the physicist, at least we ought to understand that the economist ought to sit next to the sociologist and the political scientist ought to sit next to the economist, and we might learn something from each other. That would be my final thought. We have a model here. It ought to be extended.